Bitcoin is trading over $67,000. Ethereum is $50 away from hitting the $4,000 mark. The markets are still pumping, and I believe it's just a matter of time before we're going to see some crazy pumps in altcoins when that money spills over from Bitcoin, Ethereum into the altcoins. So, if you are still not yet positioned, what are you doing? This market is here. We are in a bull market. This is what we've been waiting for 2 years, and the time is now. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Dirk. Please subscribe to my channel on YouTube down below. Follow my page on Instagram so that you do get these future updates. And if you have any questions or feedback, feel free to leave a comment. I do read them all personally. So let's dive straight into the charts here. We are looking at the Bitcoin chart, the daily chart here. We are at $67,400 at this point in time. And you can see we are so close to just getting above this previous all-time high that Bitcoin set at the last cycle, about 69,000. Well, we briefly had a little peak above that and made a slightly higher high for ever so slightly. But now we are waiting for a full proper breakout, which I think we will get. I think it's a matter of time. I think we do get above here. How high we go, I don't know, between 75 and maybe 90,000. The question is going to be, do we still get some sort of pullback? Do we still get some sort of correction here? Do we drop back a bit first and then go higher? At this point in time, there is still an insane amount of buying pressure from these ETFs. We have massive inflows basically every single day, and this buying pressure is real. So I do think we're going to go higher. And I think it's a matter of time here. It's just kind of hanging below this previous all-time high. And when it goes above, I think it probably goes pretty quickly. We probably see a $10,000 or $15,000 move to the upside in Bitcoin. And then maybe we once again see Ethereum and the altcoins start to move. Now, speaking about Ethereum, look at this. We are at $3,950. We are literally $50 away from hitting $4,000, which of course would be a massive milestone once again, because the previous all-time high was just shy of 5,000. So we are 80% of the way back there, which is already huge. As you can see over here, we have breached the 0.70%, and that just makes it likely from a technical point of view that the next target is simply those all-time highs at about 5,000 US dollars. And this 0.70% retracement level, it is equivalent on Bitcoin to 53,000. You know what happened with Bitcoin after it broke 53, it went to 69. So in that same way, now that Ethereum broke this $3,700, I think the next target is the all-time highs. And that can go pretty quickly, obviously, depending on how the market holds up. But I do expect us to probably hit this by the time of the halving, which at this point is about 5 weeks away in the middle of April. So we are looking good here, and I do expect pretty quick continuation. Obviously, what is important to note here, guys, is this is going pretty vertical, as you can see, and that only lasts for so long. Now, obviously, during the euphoria, it can go pretty high for a longer time than most people expect. But after it's done, we're probably going to see a pretty sizable pullback, just like we saw over here. You can see this is a good example where, let me show you here with the bars pattern. You can see what it did over there. So if we see something like this, maybe it runs to all-time highs and drops all the way back down. This was a massive move in 2021 where it went from $4,300 and then it dropped to $1,400. Massive drop down. So we got that huge run up, yes, in a similar way that we're seeing now. Look at this. We went from 2,200 to now almost 4,000. I think it's still got some juice left. I think it can still go higher. Maybe it makes a run here for those all-time highs, as this pattern would suggest, and then maybe it has a big drop back down. That is completely possible. So why I'm showing you this also is because we are here now in this bullish market. Trends do not go up forever. At some point it's going to reverse, it's going to come back down. So the important thing, the real way how you make money with crypto, is you want to buy low and you want to sell high. This is not something that you buy and keep forever, especially the altcoins. Bitcoin may be a different story, but even with Bitcoin, there's so many fluctuations, and you see 70 or 80% drops in the bear market. So the way to really make money is to buy low. And when these markets really pump and things start to go vertical and euphoric, you want to take profits, because then you can simply buy in lower again and just keep multiplying your capital over and over and over. If you don't take profits, even if you bought very early or very low, in the bear market, it's very likely to come all the way back down to your entry. So you need to have an exit strategy, and you need to be able to take profits. By the way, if you need help with crypto, if you want to know when the top is going to be, if you want to know when I'm personally getting out, all of that is what I'm sharing inside my VIP membership. So if you are not yet a member, the link is in the description down below. I'm actually closing the doors to new members on April 8th. So literally in a month from now, simply because how this bull market is progressing, and we're moving higher and higher. The higher the markets go, the less chance there is for upside, the higher the chance there is for downside. So after April 8th, I'm not taking on new members because I think it's just going to be too risky at that point. And if things continue at that pace, we're going to be a lot higher. And at that point, it just becomes very, very difficult to know what are you going to buy when everything is up 5 or 10x, right? So that brings me to the next point. We're seeing Bitcoin is at the all-time highs. Ethereum is very close to those all-time highs. It's basically at 4,000 now. Another 20% or so, and it's back at the all-time highs, which can go very quickly. Now, as I've been saying the last couple of weeks, the opportunity is still in altcoins. This money is going to trickle over. It flows from Bitcoin into Ethereum, into the altcoins. And we are seeing altcoins pump. Yes, we're seeing meme coins and shit coins. Some of them are doing crazy, crazy multiples. But overall, these altcoins are still not really pumping. They're nowhere close, really, to previous cycle highs. And that means the opportunity is still there. But this market can move very, very quickly. And if you don't act, if you're not positioned, then you miss the boat. So let me show you some charts of altcoins in terms of just overall structure that I think look good. And the point is here not so much to look at the specific coin that I'm showing, more the overall pattern of this type of chart. So here, DXY, you can see, yes, it's up almost 3x from the lows already, but look where it was last cycle highs. So if you see a chart like this was obviously the previous bull market peak. It went all the way back down and even lower than where it started, really. And we've had basically 2 years of accumulation. Now we're starting to see all this money and liquidity come back into the crypto markets. It is just a matter of time before that starts to flow over into Ethereum, as we're seeing now, and then into other altcoins, because the ROI is simply higher in other altcoins. In Bitcoin, the upside is what? Maybe 2x or 3x, or if it goes really insane, 5x, which would be absolutely nuts. Look at Ethereum at $4,000. What is the upside? 2x or maybe 3x, which would already be phenomenal. But if you're looking at altcoins, what is the upside here? Well, 5x, 10x, 20x. So if you are already in profits, if you have capital available and you're chasing more gains, you're chasing ROI potential, what are you going to do? Well, you're going to look for the coins that haven't pumped yet. You're going to try and accumulate that. And as more and more people start to realize that, obviously more and more capital flows into it, the price starts to move higher, which attracts more capital, which then eventually creates this blow off top or these massive pumps in altcoins, which we call our alt season, and that usually tends to mark the peak of the entire cycle. So an example here of a chart that I like, I think it will go higher. You look at these highs over here, 0.08, probably here, but who knows, maybe it goes higher than that. So we're looking at probably a 5 to 10x still on the majority of a lot of coins. Now Dogecoin has started to pump, which is interesting because usually a Dogecoin pump leads to an alt season pump, but at the same time we have to note here this massive pump in Doge in the last cycle, it actually marked the peak of the entire bull market in 2021. So yes, Doge went nuts and it did a 10x here in a matter of several weeks, but at the same time when it finished pumping May 2021, that was basically the peak for most altcoins. You can see here we've started to pump on Doge. We are nowhere near that crazy pump of the last cycle, but if that happens, and it can happen pretty quickly, literally in a matter of weeks, then I would start to be cautious, as that could signal, well, number one, a massive pump across all altcoins for several weeks, but at the same time when that is done, potentially the peak. So if we do get that massive pump, it is a warning, it is a signal, in my opinion, to be able to take profits and just realize and cash out or be part of your exit strategy overall. This is something that I'm watching. You look at something like Filecoin, which is at the moment $10. Now it has moved up, of course, since the lows, but similar structure, similar strategy to a lot of these coins, right? The charts look the same. You can go and look at these charts yourself. 2 years of sideways accumulation after the huge boom and bust of the last cycle, and we are now starting to move higher. And you can see, while it may not get back to previous cycle peaks, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Not all coins will get back to those previous highs. You can see just based on the lows where they are now, I do expect at least 40-50% to the upside or 40-50% of the retracement, maybe these highs over here. If it goes to 120, which is only 50% basically of the last cycle highs, 50% is a 12x from current levels. So what I'm basically trying to say here is you can go through these charts yourself. These altcoins, they are still relatively low. And while they're not as low as the complete bear market lows, they're up 2 or 3x from their lows already, we probably still have 5 or 10 or 15x to the upside in a lot of these altcoins. And that means you need to take action now if you're not yet positioned, because otherwise you're going to miss it. Once it starts to move like this, there's basically no more opportunity left to get involved. And sure, you can take some bets and some gambles, but at that point, when everything is up, it becomes incredibly risky. The upside becomes far less, the downside risk becomes far higher, the risk of buying the top becomes far higher. So at this point in time, we are still basically actually at a perfect opportunity to be able to get positioned in altcoins. If you haven't gotten involved yet, right now, you would have basically missed the whole bear market and 2 years of accumulation, and getting in basically before it's about to take off, in my opinion. So right now is the best chance to position yourself, wait for that upside. Hopefully that happens within a few months, maybe even within a few weeks. And then, if you can get a multiple, if you can get a 5 or 10 or 15x on your capital and you cash that out, that is absolutely incredible. Now, I'm obviously not going to go through all the different charts, but you can do this yourself. You can see all of them look very, very similar. If I just show you these charts, they all look in a way almost identical. We had a massive pump during the previous cycle. It retraced all the way back down. We had 1 to 2 years of sideways accumulation, and we are at a point where it could potentially really start to take off as a result of this liquidity that's entering the markets that's going to eventually flow over into altcoins, and in my opinion, probably pretty soon, probably within the next 1 to 2 months. So again, if you can position yourself, even if it only gets to 50% of the previous cycle, you can see that's $4 over here. What is that? That's about a 7x. Yeah, about a 7x. So, it might not be the best ROI, this specific coin, but just look at these charts. This is the point I'm trying to make. These coins that are still very, very low, they still have 5 to 10x upside, in my opinion, and probably, like I said, within the next few months or maybe even the next few weeks. So, if you want to learn more about crypto, if you want to know which coins I'm buying, my own portfolio, come and join me in VIP. I share all of that in there. I share my charts and market insights on a daily basis inside Discord. The link is in the description down below. Come and join me. Come and join more than 2,600 members inside our Discord. I'm closing the doors April 8th, so in a month from now, I'm not taking on any new members for the rest of the bull market. And basically, the sooner you get involved, the better it is, because these markets can move fast, and the higher the markets go, the less chance for upside, the more chance for downside. So come and join in VIP. This is literally the best opportunity at this point in time, still before these markets pump. Once they pump, it's too late. Come and join us inside VIP. The link is in the description down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.